The Community Police Academy is a program that we run every year for residents of the city or people who work in the city and want to get to know the people in the police department and get to know what we do on a daily basis, like all the different divisions, like our bike law, our patrol law, our detectives, our criminal unit. So for 12 weeks, they come to us every Tuesday from like 7 to 9:30, and we take them through the process of what we do, and sometimes we have like practicals to go with it, and really, really cool field trips. Tonight is our graduation dinner. These people spent 12 weeks with us learning the things that we were doing in the police department. I've grown very fond of each and every one of them, like I do all classes, and I love making that connection with new people.
There's times when I spoke down at City Hall, I talked about community first. I always keep that theme about community first. Well, this kind of program does that. It keeps the community first because it provides situational awareness, provides you leading that we have limited resources, but they're doing the most effective and efficient job that they can with what they have. So we see that, and then we're also a municipality, which is great to learn because there's not many of us in the state of Maryland. So that was something great to learn. A lot of the different things I learned were just relearned in terms of familiarity. Was some of the life-saving techniques that they did, some of the things that they did with showing you weapons, showing you law, showing you how to behave in certain situations. For instance, if there's a shooter that comes in this room, for instance, we have ways of doing that and being trained in terms of learning how to deal with that. You either run, you either can run, you can either hide, or you got to fight. I learned that when we deal with what we can, with what we have, we can do really a lot of good things.
I appreciate the Police Academy community because we learn a lot of things. We go to the court. We learn a lot of things in Rockville.
My experience with this whole program was really amazing because I get to learn basically what an officer does out in the public with safety with citizens. Basically, overall, it's just amazing because, well, one, because I really want to be a police officer as well. And it helps me a lot to have a perspective through their eyes and like how their procedure works and the rules, policies, and how they interact with other citizens as well.
I had a very nice time in the Community Policing Academy. I had emailed an officer before to have coffee, and she had made this suggestion, so I contacted Kathy and enrolled, and it was very, very delightful to cover all of the different topics. And I'm new to Takoma Park, so this was a great way to learn about the city as well.
Generally, I really liked it. I think Kathy, she did a great job putting on the academy. I think it's a great opportunity for anyone within the city limits who wants to foster a better relationship between themselves and their police department. I think it's beneficial to themselves, to anybody in the community as a whole, for that to happen. I think because Takoma Park Police is a smaller department, they're definitely more focused on community policing as opposed to some larger departments in the area. Particularly, I'm going to butcher the name of the program, but they'll have a program where they'll check on houses if you're out of town, or check on the house of a loved one who may be elderly or experiencing, certain health issues, and they'll check on them once a day to make sure that they're doing all right and everything's in check.
Generally, I feel excited about this opportunity. I feel fortunate to have had this opportunity. Not many people get to learn about their police academy and what that means for them, what that means for their community, and what that means for their families. So I think what an opportunity to be able to be a part of this program and be a part of my community.
We had a lot of interactions, a lot of field trips. The classes were great. Overall, everything was great.
It was an awesome experience. It was beyond my expectation. It's always better to see the other side, what the police views, what the general public doesn't get to know. Like when something happens, we come up to a conclusion because that's our outside view. But now, after attending this class, I tend to question myself, like, how did the police see it? How did it happen? Those questions tend to come to my mind.
I guess I kind of enjoyed coming along to it. It was something that I didn't really know much about coming into it. I didn't have an idea on what the police did in general, so it was an eye-opener for me. The first night when we had the dispatchers come and they played a little tape on what they have to know about when they receive a call, and communicating with the police officer at the same time. And I know I could never do that job, so I appreciate it a lot more than I did before.
They give you a lot of good exposure to what police on the beat do. You know, there was like the DUI session that we had. It was very informative about how they do that. It was pretty gruesome too. The criminal division, they're talking about, you know, various murders and so on they had to investigate.
The Community Policing Academy, I think, is a brilliant opportunity for residents and the city's police staff to engage in a really meaningful way, a way that I think makes connections, builds bridges, opportunity to do so in a really specific and structured way that allows for the development of empathy and understanding, and overall wonderful opportunity for people to see things from another perspective.
We go to the medical examiner's office while they're doing autopsies. Obviously, these are optional. We go to the Jessup Correctional Institute. That was a new one this year, which I'm really excited about because the warden has invited me back to go to the GED ceremony for the incarcerated persons, and I'm really excited about that. Plus, there's a person there named Chris Wilson who wrote a book about his life there, and now he's out. He's an amazing, inspirational person. So he's going to be there. We go to the Law Enforcement Museum. We go to the Crime Lab in Montgomery County, the Public Safety Training Facility. Those are just some of the ones we do. For patrol law, we'll take them outside, show them the inside of the vehicle for the police cruiser, do a pretend traffic stop just to show them what what the officer walks them through what happens on a patrol stop from beginning to end. Obviously, they're not all the same, but it kind of gives them an idea. For firearms, we go outside and we shoot some munitions, and we have targets, and then our firearms instructors teach them how to do that. For our criminal investigations division, our detective had brought in glasses, and they did fingerprinting on the glasses with the powder and learned how to lift prints. So things of that nature.
My favorite field trip, well, actually I have two. My favorite one was when they took us to the jail up in Jessup. That was great. And the second one was when they took us to the Emergency Operations Center in Gettysburg. We had the opportunity to go to the call center where they take the 911 calls. It was very interesting.
Basically, I just discussed about what a detective does on a daily basis when they go to crime scenes, questions, what they might see, what they might do, what they might ask of you, so you would be aware of what things or what activities or information like they might need from a victim of a crime.
We provided assistance and guidance to the participants, informing them of all legal procedures, what a victim witness coordinator does, domestic violence prevention and assistance throughout the city, the county, and the state. I actually was speaking to a participant earlier that benefited from the services and went out and filed for a protective order for a particular situation she had going on, and she was very appreciative that she knew what to expect in the process and the procedure. So I think that was an outstanding thing that we were able to help someone walk and know what's going to happen throughout the procedure.
I really enjoyed the field trip to the maximum security prison. Again, I didn't know what to expect with that, and I was just surprised on what went on. Obviously, I've never been in a prison before, and it was a really enjoyable field trip.
It's a mix with the different parts of humanity, with men, the women, different cultures, different things, and we all had different things with the field trips. Oh my gosh, going to the operations center, going to the training center. I mean, those things were just most invaluable in terms of looking at the situation. So, again, with community first and doing this, I'm not saying people are perfect. We don't have a perfect police department, but what they do with what they have is something else. So I want to say again, I'm grateful that they allowed us to have this kind of program, allowed us to do this. This is
the first class or the second class was about dispatching, and I didn't know they had to do a lot of steps, computer, phone calls, and all at once.
I loved all of them. I think One of the first responders courses was probably my favorite, where we learned about how to treat people when they're having an incident and how to care for them.
Favorite field trip would have been visiting the prison. That's something that everyone should do in life, because we met people there that have committed crime when they were 19 and they're now in their late 50s. They're just warehoused. I mean, so that makes you think how the judicial system works.
Feedback is always good, and it's grown every single year in participation. So word of mouth, some students have retaken it because they just like it and they want to spend time with us. This is our biggest class so far. We had 16 people in this class.
My wish, they keep continuing to do that all up with the Takoma residents. So that will be grateful, very grateful for that. I appreciate that the city of Takoma Park, that great thing they're doing for the residents of Takoma Park.
Highly encourage anyone who wants to do this to certainly sign up. Kathy is very easygoing. She's very friendly. She's very approachable. And she's been putting on this academy, I think, for 10 years now. So she definitely knows what she's doing, and she's willing to help you out in any way. So just give it a shot, send in an application, and it's a great thing to be a part of.
Kathy and Ron are the best, and they did an amazing job running this program. Every Tuesday, they were dedicated and willing to teach us and being open-minded to tell us what their side of the story is.
It's an awesome course. I would like to thank the City of Takoma Park for allowing us to do this, and Mr. Harden and Kathy did a really wonderful job leading the whole thing. And it's something to look forward in the future if they ever offer an advanced class, I guess.
I'm just very glad to be a part of a community that makes this type of facilitation a priority, and glad to see things like this happen and happen often, and glad to see that it's been something that we as a community have been doing for a very long time, and hope to see it continue for the foreseeable future.
You know, I think the biggest part is just not just the community getting to know each other, but getting to know their police department, getting to know the other departments that are here, like the recreation's here, the library's here, fire department's here, just getting to know everybody so that when you see them again, like I've seen faces here that I knew I met them before somewhere. Maybe I couldn't quite place them until I talked to them, but I feel like I've met almost everybody here at this point. I started planning this in May, and it's just a matter of making sure you have things like, because if you don't order the dunk tank and the moon bounce and the basketball hoop early, everybody's doing National Night Out except for 2 states on the exact same night every year. So you have to get your bid in quick, so I did in May. So mine was, and I was on the receiving end once of not doing it in time and had no moon bounce and no floatables and no inflatables, so it was not fun. So I'm always early now. And then just reaching out to the departments like the library, the recreation department, city services for giving tables, the fire department, getting the park police horses here. Pat, Let's Play America brings big adult games here. So it's a lot. Food, music. Chief Duvall's here. Our acting city manager, David Eubanks, is here. We have several council members here. I'm not going to name them because I wasn't up there. I do know the mayor's here. She talked for a little bit. And we have my partners that are going to do the National Faith in Blue with me here tonight. We're actually passing out flyers. Just lots of games, lots of fun, lots of food, getting to know other people, dancing. I think not just kids, but the adults like it too. They come out with their neighbors. They meet new people that they didn't know lived in their neighborhood. So it's nice. And I know a lot of places do National Night Out, like in different sections. I like ours as a big carnival because everybody's in one place and it's a lot of fun. We do a lot of things with our community. We do coffee with a cop. We do the Halloween stuff with them. We do a lot of RX Take Back. We do a lot of community outreach. We do, meetings with the chief. So, we do things all year long. Just our 2 biggest ones are this one and 4th of July is not ours, but we participate and it's a big one. So, they're fun. I'm looking forward to my one in October because I hope I get not this many people,
but some people.
I love the event. Everyone comes out. You see community, you see family, friends, and you also educate. You also get educated. So seeing all the different booth stuff, it's really, really good time to just have fun, learn about cultures, and get connected. I know a few things about the police department. Previous years ago, they had offered me a position for like a youth cadet. So that's one of the programs I'm interested in. That's what I love about our community. So they have things for the young, the old, and the youth in between. So something I would like to see in the police department. Maybe more outreach to kids and programs that they have.
At this point, I've lived in Takoma Park for over 10 years, and I can say I've probably been to about 8 national night outs. And so it's just such a wonderful opportunity to convene with people in the community, to just see people and play games and watch the kids have fun. So it's always an exciting time. One of the biggest challenges during COVID was our inability to do these types of events. So I feel like since we have been able to reconvene post-COVID, it's just been great, and people are coming out in full force, which is also very heartwarming. We were actually discussing it, and I think the turnout's been larger this time, so it is really exciting to see so many people coming through and kids out playing, street hockey. It's often really fun. So the biggest takeaway is that community matters. Having spaces for people to convene, having opportunities for our staff and our residents to interact with one another is critical to ensuring that our city as a whole isn't just some place that people live, but a place where everyone is equally invested in the success, not just of the residents, but also of our staff. So bridging those personal connections is critically important to making sure that that happens. So I think that's what I would like to see more in the future, just ensuring that events like this, other events in the future, helps us to see one another as humans, because I think we're living in a time where that's sometimes lost.
Well, that's my third or fourth time coming out to this, so I've been living here for a while, specifically also the library. So now we're in renovation, so they've always been great. We feel very safe here in this neighborhood. There's been some programs I know of inside, where they allow kids to come in the room, but more certain like after school programs will be great as well. To keep the kids safe and allow them to have their space after school so they can be always busy and have something to do.
I love National Night Out. National Night Out is an opportunity for folks to get to know their neighbors, to get to know resources in the community, to connect with law enforcement, to connect with each other. And one of the things that I think is always so important is the way that we're going to stay safe is by knowing our neighbors and looking out for each other. And that's a really important piece of what is happening in National Night Out. Well, I think it's like, look at all the joy around here. Like there's like smiles on every single face as you walk through. So that's really important. And then, of course, getting to know a neighbor over the long term is important, to have that cohesion so that we can take care of each other and helps us be safer. And, just a huge thank you to the City of Takoma Park and the police department, rec and play day folks, and all the folks who really make this such an extraordinary, joyful experience.
Well, with my law enforcement background, National Night Out is a good time for the police and the community to get together, have fun, exchange ideas, and get to know each other. It's a lot of work, and you usually have to start about 4 or 5 months in advance. Just seeing all the people out here, all the kids having fun, getting to share some information with them. I have the emergency preparedness booth over there, so, getting to ask kids a little bit about emergency preparedness, getting their point of view on, how good a job they're getting from their parents and the school system. I've always been a big fan of community policing. You really have to have the support of the community to do your job. They're the eyes and the ears for us. They see something, they call us, we come and try and help them out.
National Night Out is the cornerstone event for not only our community, our police department, but communities across the country. It really brings our community and our police officers together as one, and we stress that because that's what we need to be successful. As you can see, there are hundreds of people out here. This is a fantastic event. We have our traditional dunk tank out here, free food, horses, face painting, you name it. But it's just a great opportunity for us to connect with the community and the community to see us as people as opposed to the people behind the uniform. So I'm thrilled to be here again in 2023. I'll say this. I was talking to someone earlier about what this community means. My family moved here in 1971. I grew up about a rock's throw from where we're standing. This community, the feel, the inviting nature of it, we were a sanctuary city before other cities were. We were one of the first. We were one of the first nuclear-free zone cities. Our police department was one of the most progressive in community policing. So that hasn't changed. Our community is still an extremely diverse community. Growing up in Takoma Park, I never knew. I thought the entire country was this diverse. I remember when I was 8 years old, I went to Arkansas and I was shocked by the lack of diversity. I assumed that the diversity here in Takoma Park was the same everywhere. So it's great to see people from various backgrounds here, all ages, all ethnicities, you name it. So Takoma Park has a unique feel about it that hasn't changed from when I was a 3-year-old moving here to now and as a 55-year-old man. It still is the same Takoma Park that I've known to come and love, and it's just a great opportunity to stand here with my neighbors. I see so many people that I grew up with, that I knew from when I was young, going to school here at then Piney Branch Elementary School, so just thrilled to be here. I say this all the time, everywhere I go. Until we start taking a holistic view at the causes of crime, we're going to continue the cycle, whether it be education, whether it be poverty, whether it be all of these things, nutrition. All of these things are so important because if we give a young kid a job during the summer, if we give someone the education and the nutrition they need, they're going to be less inclined to commit crime. So I think it's so important, and I say this all the time, a holistic view of the root causes of crime is critical. We here in Takoma Park, yes, we are very inclusive. We try to reach out to our youngsters and so on and so forth. But it's not just the police department. It's everyone in the community to reach up and make sure that our kids are getting all they need so they don't turn to crime or doing things that they shouldn't do.
I've been in law enforcement for 24 years, but this is my first year working with the city of Takoma Park, being part of it. And it's excellent. Just happy to be here. Trying to ingratiate myself in here. Beautiful residents, beautiful people that love their community and support each other. So it's been a great experience. I love it. Love the agency. I love, who I work for, showing them how we are, just interacting, trying to be a fabric of the community, transparency, working together. And that means doing events like this where we can just socialize, get to know each other, realize we all as humans and, get along, have similarities. But it's awesome. It's also be able to come out here and communicate, have fun together, And so when we see each other in more harsh environments, when we're not coming for, nice things, that they have some experience with us. They know who we are. They know our faces. So their first interaction with us, it's not a bad one. Hopefully it's one like this, and hopefully we can have many more events like this where we get to meet and speak and sit down and have fun with each other. Well, that's an excellent question. We do have an outreach community policing here. Commander's run by Lieutenant Williams. She does an excellent job of networking with the schools, the elementaries. We have 3 schools here, and we try to do a collaborative effort of working with them, speaking to them about certain events, how to be safe, how to secure, and what to be cautious for, young kids, being mindful of who they're around, understanding who they can trust and who they can't trust, and just being comfortable seeing a police officer and know we're there. Not always for a bad thing. Sometimes you just have a conversation and be present. So every time they come in contact with us, it's not a bad thing. It's not a harsh thing. It could be something good, a good memory come from it, and a nice experience. So we have a great outreach program. We do things like coffee with a cop. We go to the senior facilities. We meet with them. We talk to them, let them know we're here from them, understand their concerns. So we have a great outreach program, and that's stemmed by our chief, that's stemmed by the community, our city manager, because that's important. We want to be a fabric of the community, and we pride ourselves on having a great relationship with our community.
We went last year to the night out in Silver Spring. We used to live in Silver Spring, and I saw it pop up as something that was going on in Takoma Park tonight, and we had fun last year, so we decided to come and check it out in Takoma Park.
Yeah, it was great. We had some really good food, got some toys for Ira. He loved the dunk tank and the bounce house, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, we're pretty new residents in the area, so we don't know much, but we're encouraged to see events like this that can hopefully help bring folks together.
This event is our National Faith in Blue event. It's a national event that happens across the country every year in October. It's usually the first weekend in October, and it lasts a full weekend. And it's faith-based leaders and the Takoma Park Police Department and all departments closer together to build bridges, to communicate with one another. Behind me there's officers building Legos while he's talking to some of the residents and some of the kids. They're asking questions about what we do. So it's a great way to build bridges together, and we figured Legos would be a fun way to do it. Kids are building, they're taking what they build, they can have them, we have thousands of them. Turned out to be a beautiful day for once. It was raining this morning, I was very worried about it. It's very nice out here. So just building up unity, building bridges, bringing people together. There's a lot of angst among people and the police department, so we're just trying to bridge that gap. This year, my expectation is to get more people than I had at my last events. More people realizing they don't see my Twitter and my Facebook and my email to know that this event was happening, so they can sign up for it and get more information. And just bring people together so that when maybe a resident today is talking with an officer and says, oh, I know him, I talked to him at the National Faith in Blue event, and then they feel more comfortable with that person. And they see them as just people, not just police officers.
We are building bridges using Lego between the police and the community. And it's a fun way, and it's an interactive way. And here you have kids and adults playing, because a lot of times you can solve the problems with play that adults want to solve with their heads, as opposed to, no, let's play and get to know each other. And so they're building bridges. They're also interviewing the officers to find out who they are, their name, their favorite sport, their favorite food, all of those kinds of answers to ensure that the community, the kids, develop relationships with the police, and the police develop a relationship with the kids. It is a national event. It's Faith in Blue. It's all over the country, and it's October 6th through 9th. We picked today, and at first we were kind of worried because of the rain, but then the sun will come out and everything turns out fine. I think this is our third, because we had COVID, which stopped a lot of things. So this is, I think, our third attempt at doing this. And so far, this is a fun one. This is a fun one. The barriers between the police and the community will be broken down. And the way you do that is by relationship. And so when you have to talk to each other, when you have to create with each other, it creates a relationship. And so now when the officers see the kids, and the kids see the officers, and the adults see the officers, and the officers see the adults, there'll be a relationship. Like, I know him, I saw him Saturday. We built something with Lego. This is a fantastic event, and I just hope that we continue building those bridges.
Oh, this is great. It brings the kids out, gets some of the families out working together, having a good time on a beautiful day. Engage young people with the police officers here in town, and so they get to know that the police are really their friends and are really here to help the community and not to be afraid of them.
The event is quite simple, actually. It's to create the bridge between what it looks like to have faith and also to conversate with, of course, those who serve in our community, and being able to create bridges that perhaps are non-existent for norms. And by norms we mean crosswalk and engagement with Legos that perhaps are just little movements of sorts to be able to indicate that there is commonality between what we do in regards to just being people. And so we hope that it furthers a discussion and possibly even motivates further bridges that perhaps don't exist at all. The meaning of the Legos, I think, demonstrates so much diversity as a whole. There might be a lot of shapes that are engaged in it, but I think part of it is to engage a group setting, a team setting, and perhaps notice that Legos themselves are being built by actual people. They're not moving by themselves, so cooperation is part of it. And whatever comes out to be, the light of the Lego itself, it could be tall, it could be flat, whatever it might be. It's cooperation that kind of hints at partnership. I think that's meaningful. I think when you do that, it kind of suggests and signals that things are possible when we do it together. Conversation is good. It's a good thing. It's healthy for every community, beyond the groups that might sometimes be different amongst each other. But commonality, we all speak in a sense, but to continue that speech would be rich.
I think this event means a lot to the police force because we get to interact with the community and the people, the kids, and to show the community that there are friendly police officers out here that can be helping them out. To me, I think the meaning behind the Legos are, I think it's just to build up communities, to build up friendship, to build up a partnership with the community. I grew up off of Legos, and I think that it means a lot. The end goal is I want them to know that, we are human. We also have a soft side to us as well.